Welcome to On Deck with Mike Stewart. Hello, welcome. So, coming up in this next video, we're going to be discussing how I got started working on super yachts. We're going to briefly go over what's involved in me making a career change. I walked away from a career making six figures to start a new career on a super yacht. What was going on in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I was living at the time when I made this big career change. Like I said, I walked away from a six-figure income to start this new life on the water, on deck, on a super yacht. And then also on this video, we're going to be going over U.S. Coast Guard licensing. So for you folks that are in another country, not in the United States, this probably is not going to pertain to you, though a lot of it might be similar, be able to carry over just because it's not the U.S. Coast Guard. Maritime requirements are very similar throughout. There's going to be a couple of details, and we'll go over some of those. But that's also going to be on this video. Licensing requirements, certifications, safety certifications, STCW 95 certifications that you're going to need to acquire the training and the certifications to become a professional mariner. And your best bet, get a leg up, get on deck, and get one of these sought after positions on these super yachts. The more certification, the more licensing you have, the better off. You can get these certifications without ever having stepped foot on a super yacht. And also later in this video, I am going to be sharing with you one of the greatest assets of a professional mariner training and education, which is the Chapman School of Seamanship in Stuart, Florida. They have a great course for the professional mariner that I took, and that's how I started, and I got my U.S. Coast Guard license. They got me ready and prepped to take and sit for my U.S. Coast Guard license. So we're going to be talking about the shout out for the Chapman School, licenses, certifications, what was going on in Fort Lauderdale in my life at that time, why I made the transition from photographer, taking school pictures, to working on a super yacht, and how exactly I made that transition. And then, how I got started in this business from basically going from less than zero. I'll share that with you for my viewers later on, what I mean by less than zero. It's an incredible story. So if you like this, I hope you like it. Hit the like button, boom, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Kick your shoes off, welcome aboard. Let's see what happens next. Welcome on deck with Mike Stewart. Glad you found us. Glad you're here. Pull up a chair, get something to drink, and we're gonna get right into it. Start part two, how you can get on board a super yacht. I know, hey, I'm right there with you. When I'm looking for something, looking for certain information, I'm clicking on something, I don't want a whole bunch of, let's just get to the meat of it. So I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get right on. I think we ended up with part one was Chapman School. Shout out to the Chapman School of Seamanship, Stuart, Florida. Can't say enough good things about them. Please check them out if you haven't already done so. I will include a link to the Chapman School Professional Maritime course and my description at the bottom of this video. After that, we're going to start with, boom, I have my certifications and licensing in hand, copies of all my safety certifications, STCW 95, water survival, basic firefighting, first aid, CPR, and such. Maybe I've already gone ahead, got on the ball, and I've already applied and paid, I believe it's $175, but double check me on that, for my TWIC card. And that would be, again, the Transportation Workers Identification Card, TWIC. TWIC, Transportation Workers Identification Card. There you go. See how easy it just rolls off the tongue when you think about it? So, that might give you a leg up on your competitors. Having a TWIC card, get you in those sensitive ports. It just looks professional. That way you can say, look, I've got my TWIC card here. It's got all my biometric information on the little chip, and it's already cleared Homeland Security and FBI background check. So let's go ahead, boom, you got a copy of this. Let's go ahead and get started here. Get your resume together, get your CV together, or a clipboard, a notebook. You're going to want to make sure that in your job search, this is what you're looking to do. If you're interested in finding a job, of starting a career as a professional mariner or finding a job, you don't have to be a professional mariner. You can go work on a super yacht for one summer, one winter in the Caribbean. You don't need to make a career out. There's plenty of people that just jump on there in the summertime in between school. You could do that. Let me tell you, if I was 19, 20, 25, 30 years old, you don't have a family, a wife, children, other responsibilities at home, you're just kind of hanging out by yourself. If you're looking for a way to see the world, 5-star first-class accommodations on somebody else's dime and get paid and have a wonderful experience, meet new friends, it's going to be lifelong friends. People that I've met yachting, a lot of them are still good friends today. So shout out Joaquin, Nacho, Claire, my love. Okay, so moving on. Anyway, everybody knows who they are. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't have to be a career if you're not looking for a career, okay? If you just want to take the summers off and go play, boom, jump on a super yacht, do it in style. It's like spending the summer at the Four Seasons Resort. I'm telling you. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to earn your keep, earn your supper, you know, your room and board. Yeah, you're gonna have to work. So, well, I'm gonna teach you how to work. I'm gonna teach you exactly what you need to know to shine on board and on deck a super yacht, okay? If it's just for a summer or it's for 20 years, it's up to you. But I'm gonna show you how you can do it. First class, all the way. Okay, so, boom, job search, crew agencies, Fort Lauderdale, top, best of the best, top of the bunch, cream of the crop right there. Start with the crew agencies, register with all the crew agencies in Fort Lauderdale. I will be including a link at the bottom of this video to the top crew agencies that I have personally dealt with and vouched for, okay? The interview, my big interview for my super yacht job. I got in a call. Mind you, I scurried on back to Fort Lauderdale after all my training at Chapman School, thinking I was going to jump right on board. It didn't happen for me, mostly because of the timing. Real quick, I'm going to interject. Yachting is seasonal. I'm not saying that you can't have a full-time yacht job 365 days a year. No, you can. And the best part is when you become part of a crew on a yacht, even when you're not working, even when you're not out with the owner, even when you're not in the dock or in the shipyard, you're still being paid. It's like, look at it as if you're on a retainer on board, okay? Because what they do, what the owners want to do, what the captains want to do, what the crew agencies want to do with a good crew is keep everybody together. And the only way to keep everybody together on board is to, come on, you know, you can do it, yeah. Pay them. If you pay people, they'll stay on board. As soon as they stop getting paid, they're gonna go look for another job. So you're gonna get paid whether you're on board or not. They're gonna retain that crew as long as you're a vital member of the tribe, okay? What do you bring to the table? So you gotta add value. But once you do that, once you've cemented and built some relationships, you're gonna be part of a crew 365 days a year. And even when you're not working, you're still gonna get paid. I've known crews who take 6 months not being on board and they're still getting paid. Now, mind you, they're not making money in bank like charter boats are making bank after every charter, you know, $20,000 a week or something crazy like that. Yeah, people make that kind of money. I'm not kidding. There are certain charter boats out there, big ones, certain crews, very 5-star rated crews, and they're making $20,000 per charter, which is usually a week long, a 7-day charter. Yeah, for real. The big kind of money can be made out there. Anyway, let's push all that to the side. All right, so the interview. You're gonna want to come with the interview, like I said, with your folder prepared, your certifications, a zip drive. Get it on a zip drive, that's the easiest way to do that. Your MMC, US Coast Guard, Merchant Mariner's credential.
Even if you're just a deckhand, you can get one of those. It lets you know that you've completed all your safety requirements to go offshore. When I interviewed for my super yacht job, my position to get on board a super yacht, that was the Motor Yacht Limitless. You can look it up, you can Google it, it's pretty famous. It's 315 feet, 95, 96 meters, built by Lürssen Shipyards in Bremen, Germany. Brand spanking new. I joined the crew right after it splashed in the water. They were looking to, flesh out the roster. So they were looking for mates, deckhands, stewardesses. When I interviewed, I had my captain's license now. But I wasn't interviewing for the captain position. No, I wasn't quite ready to captain 315-foot mega yacht. But heck, I probably wasn't ready to be the first officer on board. But I was qualified to be the mate. I had the training and the certification and the licensing to take over the mate's position. So I interviewed on, let's say, I think it was Tuesday. After getting the phone call that they were looking for somebody on a Sunday afternoon, shout out Big Al's uniform, West Palm Beach, Florida. You guys rock. Big Al, I don't know if you're still alive, but if you are, love you, man. Okay. Anyway, Big Al called me up and wanted to know if I was interested in the interview. So I think that following Tuesday, I interviewed for the position. Nailed it. Got it. Nothing but net, baby. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta be confident. You gotta go in there knowing in your mind. You gotta visualize it, manifest that. It's yours. The job is yours. Okay, that's how you do it. You walk in there knowing that job is yours. And I walked out with a job and a business card to our ship's agent. Every big super yacht has an agent. They take care of all the paperwork, all the logistics, everything that needs to be in order for a boat to move around from port to port. They're called ship's agents. So I had the ship's agent's business card, contact them that very afternoon and set up arrangements to fly me over and join the crew in Barcelona, Spain. That afternoon, I wrote my wife a note. I got a job on a super yacht. I'm leaving. I'm flying on a jet plane to Barcelona, Spain, and I'll call you as soon as the dust settles. So, I'm not kidding. I really did that. So, anyway, let's continue. All right, joining the crew. You just go in there, it's like anything else. You're going in there, you're making friends, you're willing to get your hands dirty, whatever you can do to move the chain down the field, the old football analogy, but to help out. When you join the crew, your first step, find out what your responsibilities are, get to know everybody, and let them know you're a team player, you're willing to do whatever it takes, even if it's not your job. Do not be one of those people like, that's not what I signed on for. So you do it. You jump in there. You get a squeegee, a chamois to help dry off the water spots on the superstructure of the hull. You're gonna be doing a lot of that if you're a deckhand. Help clean the deck, take out the trash, interior responsibilities, exterior responsibilities, whatever. If something needs to get done and you see it, you jump on it. That's how you're gonna endear yourself to the captain and the owner. That's how you're gonna move up and ahead, not just on yachts, in life in general, but you probably already know that. Speaking to the choir, right? So, we've talked about the career change, job search, Chapman School is a must, safety training, your certifications, your licensing, joining the crew. Things that you need. Make sure you get you a go bag. You want to have in there, they might provide you with a uniform. They might not provide you with deck shoes. Have in there a good quality pair of Sperry deck shoes. Make sure they're Sperry. I'm not being paid to promote Sperry. I'm just saying I've worn all kinds of deck shoes in my life, and by far Sperry has outlasted them all. So save yourself the heartache and the trouble. Just get yourself a pair of Sperry's. All right, a really good pair of polarized sunglasses. My go-to have always been Oakley or Maui Jims, Costas, polarized sunglasses. Get you a nice pair, after 5 kind of pair. If the owner's on board, they're serving cocktails, everybody's changed from their boat shirts into their nice white crisp polo shirts. You're not going to be necessarily getting all grubby and dirty, varnishing, sanding, painting, or anything like that. So you got your polo on, you can have your nice Maui Jim or Costa sunglasses, Oakley sunglasses on. During the day, get you a pair of cheap polarized sunglasses. That way, if you break them, mess them up while you're working, no harm, no foul. They can fall off in the water. They cost you $12, $15. Don't worry about it. So get yourself some sunscreen, baby, and a good camera. A journal. Journal your experience, journal everything about what you're doing, where you're going, who you're meeting, get contact information, network. That's what it's all about. You meet somebody interesting on another boat or in the shipyard or at the marina or at the ship chandlery, the supply store, get their business card, get their contact information, and keep in touch with them. You have no idea in the future how valuable that is going to be. No idea. Let me tell you, extremely valuable. Passport. Gotta have a passport. You can't go join the crew in Barcelona if you don't have a passport. Get yourselves one of these, work your mariner credential, and you're all set. There you go. Okay, let's see, what else? Tip of the day. If you're looking for a job, and you're trying to get on board one of these super yachts, you never know where it's gonna come from. And I mean that lead, that in, that chance, that opportunity. You don't know. You might interview on a super yacht thinking you're going to get on that super yacht and you never get on board that super yacht. You might be working in a shipyard picking up trash, getting paid day labor rates, and you might run into somebody that can get you on deck of a super yacht as a permanent position. You never know. So what I'm trying to say is, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't assume anything. You don't know, where one thing's going to lead and take you to someplace else. You have no idea. So, even if it's picking up trash, the most simple, mundane task, do it to the best of your ability. Do it like you are the champion of it. Own it. You never know who's watching, who's observing you. So, somebody could be checking you out while you're not aware of it. And they might be thinking, you know what? This guy's picking up trash. It's like he's the champion, grand champion of picking up trash. Look at him. He takes pride in it. He's picking up every little thing. He's whistling while he's working. He's happy about it. And you know what? If that guy's like that for picking up trash, that's who I want on my super yacht. However, you can package it up and frame it, but you never know where the opportunity is going to come from. So take every task that you have, whatever your job is, excel at it. It might be answering phones, but if it's answering phones and phone calls about yachts and boats and marinas or supplies or something to do with yachting, you know what? That job might get you on board a super yacht. You just don't know. I like to end every video with story time with Captain Mike. We were talking about don't judge a book by the cover. Don't assume anything. I want to share with you a story of one of the boats that we'll be doing a special on later on down the line called Occhigiorni. It was a 87-foot go-fast Palmer Johnson motor yacht, meaning it was a yacht. It was 87 feet long. It was custom built in Palmer Johnson shipyards. So it's Russian Occhigiorni. I believe it's means translated black eyes. It was a term of endearment for the owner's late wife. That was her nickname. I am on board, getting ready for sea trials, waiting for the owner to show up. This is a brand new yacht. Just brought it over from Fort Lauderdale over to the Med, south of France, Antibes. Beautiful, maybe Port Vell. Anyway, Antibes, France, in the Med, Côte d'Azur. I'm there, getting ready to do sea trials, waiting for the owner to show up. Every now and then when you're at the marina, I was all the way at the marina, over by the shipyard marina, and so we'd get day workers showing up. Guys would come on trying to get on board, want to work for some cash money, sprucing up the place, doing a little varnishing, bright work, what have you. So I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get everything before the owner showed up. We had the liaison from Palmer Johnson was on board to meet the owner and go over some contractual details. And we had engineer and mechanics on board. So we're running around like I said, crazy, and trying to keep the day workers off. They come right up the gangway and get on board, and we don't messing stuff up. So I think I'm out on the aft deck, probably taking a cigarette break, and just staring out at nothing. And I see this old guy. He looks kind of like Danny DeVito sort of, stature, kind of short, kind of chubby, white hair. Balding a little bit, a little goatee, and he's riding one of those little Zoom zippy scooters, and he's just like zooming around the marina, the shipyard, the boatyard, and he's stopping and talking to everybody. I mean, some guys are working on a sailboat that's been hauled out. They're underneath scraping the paint off. He zips in with this little scooter, and he's over there talking to them, bumming smokes off of them, chit-chatting in native tongue, which is French. Then boom, next thing you know, he's over here talking to somebody else, one of the forklift drivers in Portuguese. Then he zooms over, going down the line of boats that are tied up at the dock. And so in my mind, while I'm observing this guy, I'm thinking to myself, I've already built up a profile. He's just a day laborer looking for work. Oh, I forgot to mention this part. He is only dressed, he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Like I said, he looks like Danny DeVito. He's only, not that that's a bad thing, I'm just saying, put that in your head. Danny DeVito with gray hair. But he's only got a pair of white tennis shorts that are hardly white at this point. They're all dirty, smudged. I mean, they were white. They look like they need a wash, like it's been a rough day for him. But that's it. And a pair of flip-flops, sandals. That's it. Big old belly hanging over his shorts. Cigarette on a little scooter. I mean, those little tiny skateboard scooters. Not like a full-on Vespa. Nothing that classy. Like a little skateboard types. And he zooms up to me. I already know how this is going to go. He's going to try to get on board and talk me into hiring him to do some day work. So as soon as before he even tries to get off the scooter, I'm trying like, hey Pops, that's right, don't worry about it, we're good. We're full up, man. We don't need any day help, day workers, laborers. We're good. And he's trying to come up the gangway, and I'm like, got my hand out, like, that's okay, you're good. We don't need you on board. You're not allowed to come on board. You can stay right there. We're good, Pops. And about that time, I feel a hand on my shoulder saying, it's all right, Mike, I got this. That's the owner. So I'm like, what? What? That guy is the owner of this just over 11 million US dollars. Yes, indeed, that's right. He shelled out 11 million and change for an 87-foot, but I mind you, go fast boat. Because this gentleman, this Danny DeVito lookalike, was in fact a count. He was a banker, a businessman, but his family was Italian. He was from Italy. His family was Italian royalty. And one of his best friends happened to be none other than the only Juan Carlos, King of Spain. And Juan Carlos' boat was called Fortuna, which was also a Palmer Johnson Go Fast boat. So he wanted a boat that would go faster than his best friend's boat, as boys do, He didn't know exactly, he couldn't get the details of Fortuna, Juan Carlos, King of Spain's boat from Palmer Johnson, so he just said, well then fine, just build me a boat that goes faster. And they did. How about 72 nautical knots per hour? That thing was a screaming TF40 jet turbine engine, powered with Arneson piercing surface drives that went into a TF40 jet turbine, and then ran around with a pair of dual Hamilton jets. It was quite the beast. Hey, come on, you can't blame me for thinking this guy's a day laborer. I mean, just look at him. Anyway, he was a good sport about it. He laughed it off. He shook my hand and said that he was glad that he had somebody like me on board to keep, I believe his words were, the riffraff off his yacht. That I wasn't just going to let any old Danny DeVito looking guy jump on board. So he was a good sport about it. He actually had quite a dry and black sense of humor, and we became very good friends after that. Don't assume anything about anybody is the moral of that story. All right, folks, thank you for hanging out. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Like Wally said, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen out there. So let's kick off your shoes, come on aboard, let's see what happens next.